TikTok users say they're being censored after change to U.S. ownership. Huh?
Just days after a group of mainly American investors approved by President Donald Trump took over control of TikTok's U.S. operations, some users now say the app is censoring and limiting their content, including posts and messages about Jeffrey Epstein and the shooting deaths of U.S. citizens by federal agents in Minneapolis. One content creator says his U.S.-based followers couldn't access his post about the shooting death of Renee Good.
So this is how it should appear. The latest video under my 3 pinned videos is the ICE shooting analysis. But this is what my page looks like according to people who message me. And even weirder, this is how it appears in their watch history, a blank square. The red X mark is just them pointing it out to me.
And California State Senator Scott Wiener said TikTok wouldn't let him share this post about ICE for several hours.
Hold on. So they make a claim about the whole platform, then they show one user with and then screenshots of his experience. I can't be honest with you, chat. I am gonna be honest.
Advancing a bill
I'm gonna stand back and wait for some data.
It's not going to be just local and state law enforcement who can be sued if they violate your rights, but federal agents can as well.
California Governor Gavin Newsom announced a new state investigation to determine whether TikTok is violating state law by censoring content critical of President Trump. The company issued a statement today saying it had suffered a cascading systems failure that had caused multiple bugs on the platform after a power outage at one of its U.S. data centers. For more, we're joined by tech journalist Jacob Ward, host of the Rip Current podcast. Welcome back to the NewsHour, Jacob.
Is that in response to the outrage, or is that unrelated? Yo, this is important. It's important to understand the context here.
Hey, Jeff.
That was in response to
so you have a lot of politically engaged
those
users
reports
now
of
saying
the
they feel censored on TikTok, videos getting 0 views, their reach suddenly disappearing. Based on your reporting, what is going on here?
Yo, NVPOG says that the system was down for 18 hours. That was the response to. These guys then they're lying. Then they're constructing a narrative based on unrelated events.
Well, I mean, I think on the one hand, it's important to just remember in the context of American public discourse, right, that the way we communicate with one another is controlled by a handful of private companies. And as a result, we don't get to know. So, Jeff, we don't really know. Is there some sort of censorship going on?
Well, I think it's important, regardless,
this, as
to
TikTok's
just
new ownership says,
criticize
a cascading failure
and
that
to
originated from one of its data centers.
Be
What
skeptical about information being given to you.
Is that it seems as if every kind of creator trying to post content, whether they were cooks or makeup artists or political content creators, none of them could post for a while there. And so it doesn't.
Okay, you guys are criticizing me. I'll go to Grok. Give me the actual outage thing, bullshit. I'll debunk it. We're doing a double debunk, actually, double debunk. Today you supposed to be back up and running. Outage starts Sunday. Okay, so that would problem Sunday morning. TikTok is breaking. Outage. Okay. They made a statement from TikTok ASD. Technical issues impacting. Recovering data center partners. Okay. That is in direct relation then. This particular statement is made in direct relation to the outage being received for that amount of time. These guys are piggybacking this interaction and saying that the outage is an excuse for the censorship. This is unrelated. I mean, it's unrelated. I'm confused. I'm pissing you off. I mean, I just debunked you. I mean, what do you want from me?
Doesn't seem like it's specifically aimed at it. But if you're someone whose work is consistently something that speaks out against the government at the moment, then you're going to feel particularly persecuted. But it seems that it sort of went across everybody. So at the moment, this doesn't feel like it was an intentional piece of censorship. I think this ownership group is too newly in charge to make that kind of move. But that's not to be confused with the idea that they couldn't do that. I think the capability of doing so is incredibly powerful and worth watching.
Well, let's talk more about that, because people point to Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter.
A way to make the topic still blurry. I mean, sure, it says it's true, but I mean...
Now X as an example of how ownership can reshape a platform's ideology. So given how this deal came together and who approved it, is TikTok vulnerable to that same kind of shift?
Yeah, well, Musk rewrote the rules of what any of us expect as to how ownership of a major communications platform would work, right? And so you're absolutely right
The
to bring him up
rules.
because he really sort of like changed the game. And now we're in a world where close allies of the President of the United States now are co-owners of this incredibly powerful and influential platform. And what they have bought from this Chinese consortium and sort of in partnership with these China.
Yo, where was this energy when they were censoring on Facebook and shit like that? Where was that energy when they were doing massive waves of fucking censorship for fucking months on end? There was none of that.
This Chinese consortium.
These guys have no energy. Yo, I don't care. When you catch a W, if you turn a blind eye and you cash in your W, I'd never want to hear you back up when you get an L. I don't care. I will only listen to people who both catches L's and W. That's it.
Very sophisticated system for
it goes both ways,
censoring
or does it go
anything you
anywhere,
want.
buddy?
Because this thing had its origins in China, it has incredible capabilities to detect in real time whether you're saying things it doesn't want you to say. I have been in the position of making reference to, you know, the Nazis during World War II, and the word Nazi can get you kicked off of a live stream or get the reach of your post put away. So it's very easy to do so. I don't think it's happening right now.
That's fair enough.
But if in future they decide
to exonerate TikTok from its own alleged censorship, that's like a judge saying he's innocent. LOL.
The outage happens. People are mad about the outage that the system cannot be used. Then they respond at 10 a.m. on the day after and say, yeah, the outage is because of this. And you think that I'm wrong for saying that this isn't in relation to the censorship. No, this is 2 days after. This is the day after. We're going to resolve a major infrastructure issue should have had an outage. Data center partner sites. Network has been recovered. Outage caused by kissing system failure. This has nothing to do with censorship.
These guys just mad their TikTok page fell off. Smiley face emoji. Smiley face emoji.
To do what Musk decided to do, they would have every kind of controls available to them to pull that off, because that is exactly how TikTok is built.
And TikTok recently updated its terms of service. So what should users of this platform understand?
Yeah, in many ways, they've just sort of rewritten a more broad set of language for capabilities that the platform seems to have had before. But for instance, they're saying that they can much more precisely track your location. You can turn that off in your device settings on your phone. They also say that they'll be able to follow you elsewhere when you are elsewhere off of the platform. They can send advertising out to get you. So that's something you can also turn off. But all of this, I think we should remember, is pretty standard issue.
Chat, I could be wrong, but okay, I'm gonna make a wild guess and you're gonna tell me if I'm wrong. How tight they were doing that initially, back when the app was not US owned, it had to be loosened because it was owned in China or whatever, and they would get really mad if they had that amount of whatever. And now, since it's US based, they're just standardizing to what others' app levels of tracking does. And then this guy's just trying to demonize the standardization. Wrong or false? They're just standardizing it.
For the surveillance capitalist world we are in currently, all of these platforms are trying to do the same kind of stuff. Just this is a more explicitly spelled out thing in the terms of service here, Jeff.
And separately, Jacob, TikTok has reached a settlement to avoid being involved in this landmark social media addiction trial. What more should we know about that?
That is such an incredibly big deal in my world. I've been waiting for this trial to start because of the incredible amount of documentation that has come out already.
That's gonna be useless,
but... And so TikTok and Snap, the maker of Snapchat, those two have settled,
about
which
to be
leaves
handed to
Google,
a Zionist
YouTube,
billionaire
and
who has
What am I watching?
assisted the
What is
IDF
happening?
and who holds terrifying
What's happening?
ideas
Oh my god.
in our
So that's debunked. Next.
What hundreds of millions of people see on TikTok are about to be handed to a Zionist billionaire who has actively financially assisted the IDF and who holds terrifying ideas about the role AI should play in our daily lives.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Weapons change over time. We have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok.
That was Israeli Prime Minister and genocidist Benjamin Netanyahu speaking last month on why TikTok matters for Israel's grip on power. Enter Larry Ellison, the 81-year-old Oracle co-founder and the world's second richest person, whose company is now set to take control of TikTok's data in the US and to retrain its algorithm from the ground up. It's part of Donald Trump's TikTok deal, which transfers majority control of the app's American arm from Chinese owner ByteDance to a consortium of tech moguls and Gulf royals. The upshot is, what 170 million US TikTok users see could effectively be shaped by a billionaire Republican megadonor with deep ties to Israel and its military.
For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people, and now we have a country of our own, defended by all the brave men and women of the IDF. So anything we can do to support them.
Ellison is the single biggest private donor to the Israeli Defense Forces. In 2017, he gave $16.6 million to Friends of the IDF, the largest donation in the organization's history. Okay. And he is reportedly close to Netanyahu himself, who once holidayed on Ellison's private Hawaiian island. Oracle is on the official BDS boycott list, supplying Israel's military and government with AI, cloud, and surveillance infrastructure. But there's more. Remember this story about a certain war criminal becoming the regent of Gaza? Larry Ellison is the biggest backer behind it. He's pumped at least £250 million into the Tony Blair Institute since 2021. According to a report by Lighthouse and the New Statesman, Blair's think tank has effectively become an offshoot of Oracle.
Well, I don't want you guys are always on the defensive. Always on the defensive and thinking, oh, like defending. Like, we can't even begin to analyze anything. We can't even read an article. Like it's always like you guys are always trying to get a gotcha. Like it's like some game. They try to do a gotcha at me or something like that. Like I give a shit about any of this fucking bum ass mother sucker. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, and it doesn't change my life. If it's one way, it's one way. If it's the other, it's the other. To me, it's irrelevant. I watch a video, I look at an article, see, is this true? Is this false? Because act like I have a stance that's going to be evil already, that I need to be debunked or gotcha'd. Like, I don't know why you guys do this shit to me. It's very weird. Like, I come in as a blank slate. I just try to see how it is.
Pushes policies that merge public services with private tech. Exactly what...
I'm just wondering, how many people do you think can put a bid for TikTok? How many people, privately owned companies, could have bought TikTok? Right? How many do you think? There's probably a handful of them. Right? Yeah. So, in that sense, if it wasn't them buying it, it was some other guy, Israel, whatever, it would all be the same shit. Up until if there's a problem and there's some reports of the app acting in ways that reflects this guy's current views, then I don't see it. So, in my opinion, until there's a hint that it's going that direction, well, it's not going that direction. Otherwise, it'd be weird to assume. It's odd. I think it's incredibly unfair and uncharitable to anybody out there that ever owns or buys anything. It's just dog shit.
Profits from. The company already has contracts with the Home Office, Department of Work and Pensions, DEFRA, and...
Let me guess, you would be more happy if Bill Gates bought it. Let me guess, you would be more happy if Elon bought it. Let me guess, you would be more happy if Mark Zuckerberg bought it.
Defender.
Cap,
Defense.
cap, and cap. Let's be honest. It is what it is. It's what it is. Because you view them as one person. It's why do you think that the big corporates don't really have a face ever? Because they can do shit without saying it. This guy is doing that. That's why. It's why things usually up in the shadows. Because this guy has a face. Say, oh, the company is this one guy. That's incorrect. It's biased, stupid thinking. That if you applied across the board, you would criticize everything. You'd go maniac mode. It doesn't make sense. You're wrong.
The Ministry of Justice, and is increasingly embedded in NHS data systems. Last year, Blair and Ellison appeared together in Dubai, calling for citizen data to be merged into a single AI network. The data mogul's vision for the future is openly dystopian. At Oracle's analyst meeting last year, he envisioned round-the-clock monitoring of citizens by artificial intelligence through traffic cameras, doorbell cameras, and police body cams.
Citizens will be on their best behavior, because we're constantly recording everything that's going on.
Larry Ellison.
It's not stupid thinking. It's just the fact that somebody can do one thing and go on seminars and talks about his other shit, and it's not intersecting. That is, this is an absolutely. It's a world that you okay, then in that case, then everything that Bill Gates says and does and all the whatever videos and what people said propaganda shit over all applies to all of Windows and all the users. Dude, I don't think it's a fantastic way to think about things. It's very short-sighted. It's short-sighted. That also means that Jeff Bezos is thinking about the future and AI and whatever also applies to everybody that works over there and everybody that streams on Twitch because it's Amazon owned. It's very short-sighted thinking. It just is. Until there are hints that that's happening, I'm going to assume that it's not. And that's perfectly okay. You can do the opposite as well. That's fine.
It's well beyond technology. It's sort of CEO of everything.
Taking the reins of US TikTok's algorithm is the latest in the massive media empire Larry Ellison is building with his son David. The Ellisons already control one of the biggest news outlets in the United States, CBS. Now they're making a bid for Warner Brothers, home to HBO and CNN. With all of this in mind, there's no time like the present to support independent media that isn't backed by billionaires. Visit novaramedia.com/support.
Very interesting. That is very interesting. I know why you're mad at MD Pog linking me the fucking article that absolutely is one-to-one relevant to the topic at hand. I mean, it is a direct report without any journalist. Whatever. It has the stat.
So when we prove that TikTok is being bought for propaganda, now all of a sudden everyone does it, so it's whatever. Like, bro, come on. Look what happened to X.
Bro, when did I say that? I said that if it was, and it is being done, if that's wrong. You're assuming that the thing is being some fucking Israel. You're assuming that TikTok is now on fucking Israel farm. And if there's any hints of that, I mean, I'm not gonna be very receptive to fucking the assumption. I think it's unfair.
People more mad about this, but when TikTok was owned by the CCP and openly propaganda and censored, it's fine.
Then what about? Okay. I had to do whataboutism, but I'm gonna give you a one-to-one example. Then what about the CEO of fucking Spotify investing in weapons and shit? Well, like, yeah, I'm not gonna make an assumption of that whatever this guy does and what he thinks, and the platform that he co-owns or owns. Whatever, I'm not gonna do that. I think it's very short-sighted. Both can exist in parallel and never intersect.
You are incredibly naive. It's unbelievable.
Okay, then show me evidence. Okay, then show me evidence. If I'm gullible, I would be easy to sway the other way around. Show me some instance of mass Israel-controlled Oracle propaganda of all the TikTok. Really?